Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hub. It is the first Friday in our last month in December. It is now cold outside. We are wrapping up our 2024, and we have an amazing segment planned for you on this last segment of the year. My name is Justin Taylor, and tonight we have two special guests who are deeply involved in advocating for civil rights and social justice in our community. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Mrs. Valerie Beverly, who is the second vice president, and Tyra Chisholm, the member chair of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, in Newport News, Virginia. Now, the NAACP has been at the forefront of the struggle for equality since its founding in 1909, fighting against things like racial discrimination and championing the rights of the marginalized people in our communities. In our conversation today, we plan to explore these phenomenal ladies' work within the organization, their perspective on current social issues, and how we can all be part of the movement towards justice and equality. Please join me in welcoming both Tyra and Valerie to the Hub. Welcome to the show, Tyra and Valerie.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are so happy to be here.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you.
So I want to give you guys a brief moment for each of you to tell us a little bit more about yourselves and what it is you do professionally and in the community.
Okay.
Want me to start? Hi, well, I am Tyra Chisholm, and I am a spiritual life coach. And what that is just helping you to guide you on this wonderful spiritual journey of life and to do it more abundantly with God in your heart, soul, and your mind. That's what I do. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so what I do, I have my own insurance agency, Divine Insurance Group. You may see me sometime on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok talking about different things that I do with insurance. So I am a one-stop shop. I do every kind of insurance that you can think of on the planet. Really, really. And I also do financial planning, and I do securities. So I help small businesses and people who may be self-employed get their retirement plans together. I do that. And right now we're in Medicare season. I know if anybody has heard of annual enrollment period. Tomorrow is the final day of that. But then after that, we go into what you call the special enrollment period, or in case they have a special situation, we can still enroll people in the program. And then in January starts open enrollment period. So you still have opportunities to get in if you have Medicare. Now, people with Medicare and Medicaid too, also, we have plans for all of them. So this is a hectic season. So tomorrow it winds up. I'm also recently ordained minister. So yes, that was just a couple of weeks ago. And so yes, we stay busy, and we are both part of the Newport News chapter of the NAACP.
Okay, so we know what the NAACP acronym stands for, right?
Some people do.
Okay, correct. Some of us know what the NAACP acronym means. If you don't, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But I think, and I would like for you ladies to indulge me. We might be a little bit disinformed or less informed of what the actual purpose of the organization is. Could you guys take some time and explain to us what the purpose of the organization really is?
Okay, well, again, the purpose the mission that we have is to give the people political education on what's going on and to put it in the place of the government, the state, wherever you're at. You need to know what part of your city, your country, your state is doing. We get involved with our political people, our senators, our governors, all of them. The police force, we're into everything that is, beneficial for us, for everybody, but especially for us because we don't really get into that part. We get into everything else, but when you know that you got to go with education, especially with this political and social life, you really need to get involved.
Yeah, our local chapter, and of course we have a national strategy, but we really are, the NAACP is on the forefront of fighting all social injustice, whether it be, so like we have committees in the chapter. So we have a housing committee, we have a socioeconomic committee, we have an environmental committee, we have a legal defense, we have education, right? We have it's so many different committees that you can, we have a youth action committee, and they actually participate nationally every year, and they display their different talents. So the NAACP gets involved in every area of your life. And what I always tell people is, you may not realize it, but there are injustices in every facet of our lives, not just for Black people, but for disadvantaged and marginalized or at-risk populations. Women, the things with women's rights and healthcare now is a huge, huge, huge burden that we are carrying, but it encompasses, it's a two-part, because it's a religious or a spiritual part to that, and then there is a just what is right, what is fair, what is just for the people. And it is really has aroused a lot. That's one big issue. The other big issue is, that we have going on here. The governor has put in force, and he has left it up to all the schools to decide how they're going to do these bathrooms. If it's going to be same sex can go into the bathroom. But what he has said is that if you are born a male, you have to go to the male bathroom. If you are born a female, you have to go to the female bathroom. But it is up to the school systems, the localities, to decide how they're going to roll that out. That's a big thing. The other big thing in the schools now is the cell phone. They're banning cell phones. The kids are not going to be able to have their cell phones, and their schools have to have a plan for that also. So we've got a lot of things going on. Those are just two major issues that are going on right now, but the NAACP stands at the forefront of all of it. Like, we are out there, we go to the school board meetings, we go to the city council meetings, somebody does, so that we can bring information back and let people know what is what's actually going on.
So I guess with that, I would ask, so this is so much more than just taking complaints.
Correct. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So how do you all provide the necessary education to the population regarding the issues like the things you just mentioned?
Well, just like what you're doing with us now, being out here on social media, being a part of getting around with and really talking about it. We be all over the place. If there's any activity, like tomorrow, I have to go over there with the Masons and present this as well to them. So we're getting out there with the people. They're finally starting to ask, hey, what do y'all do and how can we get involved and everything? Because people were really fearful of NAACP. They only thought about it that it's a racial thing and all of that. But we do a lot in our communities.
Yes.
And we need these people, our people, to come and join, to see it for themselves and know and work it so that they could be a part of where they're at. We're here.
Right, right. We have to be the change, the change that we want to see. We have to be it first. So we have to be living examples for people. So a lot of what we did this past year, we had several events at different areas of the community in Newport News about, multiple things.
Especially when the voting came up, we were there.
Yeah,
we were out there, we're
signing people up to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, to register to vote, getting the word out, what you have to do for people who may have lost their right to vote, how to get it back.
Yeah.
We did a whole seminar on that for the community. No, we are big out here this year environmentally. There's a lot of things going on in our community that people were just unaware of. We have a coal terminal right downtown Newport News where the shipyard is. And that coal is contaminating our air, our water, and our soil. And
you're talking about the well, if we drive past it every day, the big old mountains of coal.
Yes. So we have an environmental committee, and we have been intentionally out here making sure we inform the community. One of the things we have a group that's doing now, they're actually doing health assessments on the community, because people don't realize that coal ash can spread as far as 50 to 60 miles. So that means our whole area plus the other side of the water, because on Lambert's Point, we have a coal terminal there also. So the whole Tidewater area is really contaminated, right? So we have another group that has put air sensors up to tell about what the quality of the air is. I think that's with Virginia, University of Virginia, and maybe Virginia Tech too, are involved in that with another community group. And so they're doing that. They're putting the air pumps to the people. Yeah, they're putting it in their houses so they can have gauges. To see. But we also know people that are very ill. I have a very close friend. Her sister had to have her lung amputated at age 14 because she had the lungs of a coal miner who had been in the coal mines for 30 years because they lived right there at the terminal.
That whole community.
Yes.
Is and I mean it's us.
Right, it's us.
Downtown Newport News area.
People had no idea.
They had no idea until we made it, visionable that this is what's going on.
Right.
They didn't even know why they were getting sick and all of that.
Right. And so now we're trying to get the data together to show the correlation between the illness in the community and the coal.
Wow.
Because it is really sad that you would even house people right there by the coal terminal. And I mean, this happened for years. They tore the housing down and now they're putting more housing up. Yeah. And to me, it still doesn't make any sense because we haven't done anything to deal with the coal.
Yeah.
Wow. We haven't done anything to deal with it. And then not only do we have the coal, but we have the shipyard that has all the emissions and the PFAs and all of that that's going into the air. It's a mess. And one of the things that I was telling people at one of the events we did, I was telling them, explaining them that Hampton Roads, this area, has the highest incident of respiratory disease in the country. This area has the highest incident of respiratory disease in the country.
Wow.
In the United States. And so, people are starting to put things together, so-and-so got cancer, they died. This one, lung problems, this one, allergy, asthma, all these things that people just like, why when I come here, all of a sudden I'm sick? you know, that type of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's a
Wow.
lot going on.
It's a lot going on that
Hmm.
the average individual, like I wouldn't even know about it.
Right,
Um,
right,
wow.
right.
So, how would you describe what are some of your current priorities in addressing injustice right now? Like what I know you talked about the bathrooms in the schools, the cell phones, and you're dealing with the coal issue and the pollution issue. What are some of the other priorities that you all are working on when it comes to addressing injustice in our community?
Well, I can tell you, I know our president, Jennifer Brooks, she actually went through the Citizens Academy, through the police department and the FBI Academy to actually see what type of training the officers go through. One of the big things, she actually sits on the board now of excessive force, which is important that we are connected, not just connected, but we sit at the table so that we understand what's going on, because you know a lot of times when there's a shooting or something that happens, they don't want to turn over the videos, and
Right.
it's not till after you have to go through all this Freedom of Information Act and all this stuff. You got to get attorneys involved and stuff to actually get the tapes. So that's one of the big things that we are working closely with our police chief,
Yes.
Chief Drew. He is not just accept approachable, but he is amenable. Like you can get to him, you can talk, and he's been having conversations within the community. Um they've done the basketball tournament that they do with the police and the sheriff's department every year.
And we had the walkathon,
The walkathon
and the police chief was
is
out
out
there
there
with
with
us
us.
on that. So we are doing a lot with our community, with the hierarchies that we need to know what they think about us and what we're doing in our neighborhood. And we need to know what they're doing for our neighborhood.
Correct, correct.
You know, so and it's true. It they really do get involved when you get involved.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
you don't get involved, you don't know, you'll never know any. It's more to NAACP than just a racial thing. It's education. It's us coming together. It's stopping the racial fight and come together. We all are one. We're all human. We all got the same, we're breathing the same breath. We need to stop with the separation of stuff and come together and know that we are here to help each other.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what we do.
Yes, yes. And so we, you know, it is hard to get people to join the NAACP, because a lot of people's like, what are they, do they even do anything? You know, people are like, what are you know, do you do anything? We don't see what you do. Well, we are putting it out there. We are putting it out there, and we are in the community, not just and on Facebook. NAACP has the Newport News NAACP chapter has a website, and it tells you when our meetings are, our upcoming events, all of that type of thing. And so, and like I said, we make sure that we participate in all different types of things that are going on in the community. We make sure that we go to Capitol Hill every year when they have a day when you can spend with your legislators. We go to Washington, D.C. and do the same, and go with our Congress people and our senators. And it's just important that they know that you care about your own community.
That's right.
They need to know, because for so long, you know, we've been deemed as, wanting to stay on welfare, staying in the same shape, don't want to work, lazy. These are just adjectives that have been not just put to Black people, but to people who have maybe just been in the system so long. You know what I mean? Just been in the system, and you know, you see generation after generation. And we don't want that to be the norm. We want that to be something that is an anomaly, like you hear about it once in a blue moon, not
Right.
not the norm, you know.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to shift our conversation.
Mm,
Let's talk about advocacy.
yes.
Um, so how does the NAACP assist with and approach issues involving police brutality against, or any type of injustice against African Americans?
Well, first of all, we do get the calls. We do get the calls. And so
Okay.
what Jennifer does is it goes to the appropriate committee.
Okay.
But a lot of times with the police, if it's a police issue or whatever, a lot of times she is the one that gets the information.
Mhm.
Firsthand, she goes to the meeting, finds out what's going on, what the complaint is. Well, we may get a complaint and then she'll call the chief or whoever and let them know she got this complaint. And you want to meet, find out what's going on. And because you have to get both sides of the story. Now that you have to do. Fortunately, we have not been in such a bad situation with that. I tell you what situation we are having a lot of housing. Housing has been in the news here.
Okay. When you
just
say housing, what do you mean?
homelessness. We have
Okay.
a large population of homelessness in this area. And I don't know if you know about the towers right downtown Newport
Mhm.
News when they put all those people out. Well, the NAACP, different church people, different churches, and what came together to try, because they had to try to find homes for all these people that were put out on the street with little or no notice. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Mhm.
so that created a huge, I just say it's a lot going on. So
Mhm.
NAACP was directly involved with that, with social services, and number one, listening and hearing the complaints, trying to see if they had housing, if they could get into Section 8 on the emergency list, just a multitude of things that NAACP was involved in.
Okay.
On
So
that,
so you
one thing.
so your organization was more so doing like the legwork to try to to find the resources for these people.
Well, to
Okay.
assist, because so we don't want to take over something that's really not our assignment. But
Uh-huh.
say for instance, so like the director of social services, that was the first place that they contacted them to see what social services could do as far as putting people in rooms in hotels for the night and everything, just trying to coordinate efforts and
Okay.
using the strength in the name of the NAACP as being on the job. Hey, we are here. We need to know what you are going to do for these
Mhm.
people who have been put out on the street. How long they gonna give them in hotels, that type of thing. If they could give them bus tickets, different things like that, transportation, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
And we do
Okay.
it
So you mentioned oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. With HRT, we got communications with them as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for transit and things like that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned committees earlier. So
Yes.
what are the different committees and what do they do within your organization?
You got a list of them?
Hold on.
I know we have a list of them. I mean, some of them just off the top, like I said, well, you are head of the membership, meaning she drives membership, trying to get people signed up.
Okay.
So we got the youth committee, community outreach.
Yes.
We have that. Criminal justice,
Mhm.
political action, education, legal redress.
Redress.
Yeah, redress, environmental, which we were talking about earlier, prison, finance, membership in life, membership, criminal justice, communication, I mean,
Veterans.
we got it.
veterans,
Yeah, we even got
healthcare.
religion, we got health,
Yeah, healthcare committee, a
know,
religious committee.
yeah.
We have it all.
we even
So
got Veterans Affair, all of that.
do these different committees, are they like separate cells or separate, or like do they meet on their own, or like say for instance, if I was a part of the education committee, um, would I only meet with other members of the education committee, or do you guys all come collectively as a group and meet and stuff that way?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Okay.
Both.
Okay.
So each committee, we try to have a minimum of 3 people on each committee, and
Okay.
each committee chair is responsible for coming up with the activities, meeting with their committee members, doing what it is that they need to do for that particular committee. So like Tyra and I both were on membership, so all our efforts were put towards
Getting members.
going out and doing events, like maybe setting up at a beauty salon and barber shop, you know, telling people what we do, or going to churches on Sunday and making an appeal to the churches, telling them, hey, we need boots on the ground. We need you. We need you all to help. Don't sit back and be a spectator. We need participants.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. So like Tyra will come up with our agenda, like she said, she's going to the Masons or whatever tomorrow. But she'll meet with her committee, and then the education people will meet with that committee, and then we meet. The NAACP has an executive board meeting and a regular membership meeting every month.
Every month that we get together, and then we express what we've done,
What we've been doing,
whatever has been going on. Like I said, we have a personal meeting with our committee, and then we have the meeting with everyone, so that everyone that comes, because it's not just for us, we invite other people to come to our regular meeting once a month, so that they can get the education of what we do and how we do it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the next thing on under advocacy is policy change. How does the NAACP approach, you know, policy changes that we may think that we need for people of color in our communities?
So I can say, I know one of the things that we were addressing this year, we actually had an attorney come in to speak to the community on knowing your rights. You know, like what's it called when they stop you just because you're Black? What is that, driving while Black or whatever?
Oh, stop and frisk, or
yeah,
yeah.
And they what is it called when they specifically pick out, like I can't think of the term right off my head, but you know what I'm talking about. Like they are specifically looking
Profiling.
Profile, yes,
Yeah.
Racial profiling. So came in to actually talk to the NAACP, but we were trying to get a younger audience there, so they could understand what their rights are, what you can say, what you shouldn't do when the police stop, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. Because you know it's highly likely that if we ask a question that we are taken as to being belligerent or defensive or combative, right? And so we had an attorney come in and talk about knowing your rights. What are your rights? What can you do in this situation? What can't you do? What can the police do? What are they not supposed to do? Yeah. Those type of things. And so that was a very, very good one, and an eye opener. But I will tell you, one of the things that we tried to do in the NAACP as far as policy change is, one of the things is like our president is dealing with, you know, the community leaders, for instance, the police chief. So like when something is going on or something has not gone right or gone awry and don't seem right, she actually sits down at the table and says, hey, we need to look at this, blah, 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 blah. And also we go to the city council meetings and get on the agenda to let them know, no, we're not doing this, or we need to come up with something that's going to address what's going on in the community. And that has, I've lived here for quite some time. So for me, that has been a breath of fresh air for me to see that, to go that far, because you normally don't see that go that far, like really, really get in there. And like I said, most of our events, we have our local delegates, our local state senators, our local congressmen. And what I can tell you about Congressman Bobby Scott, he is everywhere. He shows up for his constituents. He shows up. He shows up. I mean, almost any event that is going on that he is invited to, he tries to get there. And if he doesn't make it, he has a representative there. He wants his constituents to know that he is here for them, what he is doing for them. And he definitely comes to give us updates of what he is doing in Congress, what bills he's trying to pass, what he's fighting for us. So I can tell you, and then he'll tell us, we got so much of money, the state of Virginia got this, and this much the city of Newport News got. And then we can ask the city council and the mayor, okay, so what are you going to do with that money? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like how is that going to work out? What is going to be the process for the new housing downtown for the people to get in there that you displaced, that you pretty much gentrified out of the community? What is that going to look like now? You know what I mean? So yeah. And just trying to put things in place to really let the powers that be know that, let them know that we care, number one, and not on our watch, not on our watch. Like we are going to be boots to the ground. Like we are watching you. In other words, they know that the NAACP is watching and is aware of what is going on, not just in the community, but what the powers that be are doing. Like if you're allocating money to this thing or that thing or whatever, and something else that, maybe the people wanted or whatever, we want to know how y'all made that decision. What is, what community, needs. Like downtown right now, they are really focused on doing a lot of projects down there. But now we have the central district, like almost Midtown, that is a desert. You know what I'm saying? It's a desert. So it's still a lot. It's always going to be something to be done.
This is why we need people.
Yes.
We need people to come in and be a part of. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
And bring your expertise.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of the questions that I just got in my chat in the Discord is, can anybody join and you know what? I noticed you have not said NAACP. You say NAACP.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
Yes, because one of our former past presidents, Cynthia Downs, she now works for Senator Warner. She explained to us at our last Freedom Gala we had in, was it October? And she made it clear, stop saying NAACP. It is the NAACP. And I mean, she gave us a whole, thing on it. So I tried to follow why the importance of that is, and she told us that it is important that you separate that and don't say NAACP. No. So,
and I guess that kind of that phrase does have a negative connotation. It has a negative stigma based on our country's history with the organization.
Yes.
So I can see that. I can understand why it's important to separate the NAACP from the NAACP of old.
Yes.
I can understand. And I just kind of picked up on it. I said, she hadn't said that not once. And I keep saying NAA, but now I know.
I'm getting used to the new.
Yes.
Okay.
They even changed the The insignia, I think
Oh,
about a
yeah.
year ago, yeah,
Okay.
they changed that. Yeah, they changed that. They're updating, and that came from national. So, you know,
Okay.
so we're one of the chapters in the state, and then we have a whole state delegation also, you
Uh-huh.
know, and then we have the national. So every state has chapters all over, you
Okay.
know,
Now,
that
now, how do those chapters work together? State by state? I mean, well, county by county, state by state, nationally. How does the different chapters within the different states work together? And then how does the different states work together to, I guess, push policy nationally?
well, so you know, we have the
Convention.
yeah, that we have a national convention. So
Okay.
the NAACP at the convention, we actually vote on certain things. So we have an agenda of what we vote on
Okay.
for that year and what the focus is for the year, for that particular year. I could tell you a couple of years ago when we had it in Boston, one of the big focus that the NAACP was pushing home ownership and wealth building in the African American community or minority, not just African American, but just in areas. And so Wells Fargo gave $50 million, donated $50 million to the cause. And there are certain states, I know, I want to say North Carolina, I can't remember the 3 states that they started with, where they would make it so that you didn't have to have a down payment for first time home buyers. And so they were trying to make the process a lot easier.
Okay.
Now, let me just give a caveat to that. So with them giving us that money, there's still many people were upset because Wells Fargo has been, and some other banks have been on the other side of causing injustice
Right,
to
right.
the community.
Absolutely.
So it was really, it was interesting conversation that had to
Uh-huh.
be had.
Right.
And I'm glad that we came together, you know, within our confines, but it was just really interesting to see, you know, yes, because some people really felt like all money is just not good money. Why are you taking it? You know, it's like you selling your soul to the devil, some people felt. And then other people said, no, we gonna take this money and we gonna make sure we do this, and this. So, you know, it's always 2 ways to
Address the
Yeah,
situation.
it's always different perspectives, but I mean that's the purpose of, you know, I like to call them think tanks, but that's
right.
the purpose of having, you know, the conversations.
Yeah,
Um,
and that was the big debate between W.E.B. Du Bois and am I right? And is it Frederick Douglass? No, not no, who's the other person? But I know it was the 2, they had the great debate of should we go back to Africa or should we stay here? Should we be an agricultural economy or do we want to move on with the industrial, you know, as America was growing in the industrial revolution? So it's always going to be a debate and it's always
Right.
going to be different points of view. But what I always tell people, so we still have to understand our assignment. So here in Newport News, we understand we may have some different things than other parts of the state, but we are still not a separate entity, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
But in different parts of the state, they have different laws and different rules. So, you know, ours may not agree with that, but like you said, we're still one
Yes.
in that.
Right. We all need to understand that we are on the battlefield, but we are all fighting for the same thing. Like we are fighting injustice. Injustice anywhere is no good. Like
Right.
it should not be acceptable.
Right.
You
Right.
know, yeah, and you know, we got another big issue, gun violence around here.
Oh yeah,
In the Tidewater community, period. Like that's everywhere.
And
Hampton,
human trafficking. We're
yeah,
working on that too.
too. Human
So that's
trafficking.
big time.
That's a
You
big
know,
time.
right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a lot to work on.
So let me get back to the question about membership. Are there prerequisites for joining? Do you have to have certain qualifications to join? And then what about committees? Like, are you like automatically assigned, or what if
No, you
I have
pick
a
whatever
specific?
one, you pick whatever you want to be on.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't assign, we let people, because it is volunteer. There's no qualifications except for you either live or work in the city of Newport News.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And
That's
that
it.
you have, like you said, three is the least that you can have on the committee, that you can have more. But it just depends on the preference that you like.
Right.
Like if somebody wants to be with housing or one of those, then yeah, they're more than welcome.
Yeah, you just go with it. I can tell you, I was in NAACP growing up in New York City as a youth. So I've been exposed to this organization for a long time. And so I can tell you it looked very different in New York than it looks here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very different, very
Definitely.
different, very different. It's very
Okay.
different. But again, a different set of problems, and just so many people. It's a whole different way there
Okay.
than here.
Okay. So let me ask you, so like all of the different issues that you've touched on tonight, how do you engage with the community to identify and address those specific concerns or needs within our community? Do you just follow the news and say, okay, this is an issue based on, this data, or is it uh by the level of complaints that you get about a certain thing, or is it kind of like a little bit of all of it?
Yeah,
Yes,
a
it's a
little
little
bit
bit
of
of
all
all
of
of
it.
it.
If somebody is dealing with something and they need our assistance, then yeah, we're there. If
Okay.
they want to be a part of it, of course, yeah, we're there. So it's just them bringing it to us so we know what we're dealing with.
Right, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
like we had I'm sure you heard about the shooting at the bus, the shootings at the bus stops in
Oh,
the
so unfortunate. Yes, ma'am.
right. So what came out of that, there were two emergency meetings, like those same mornings, right after these incidents happened. And there were local groups that work with kids, and therapists, all kinds of people. Just they asked, they put out a call and said, if you are do this or do that, we want you to come and we want to meet. And they were just having an impassioned meeting, about what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do as a community? So it was a lot of different organizations, people, and everyone, and then just some people that just needed to talk, because it is very sobering
Right.
to see your own community tear itself down.
Right.
It was, and it was a lot of tears. It was a lot of anger. I mean, we had former gang members in there. It was pretty heavy. It was heavy, 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 and it still is heavy because we still don't have a solution, right? We
Right.
still don't have a solution. They said last weekend we had like 9 incidents of gun violence in the Tidewater area. Horrible.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And then I don't know if y'all heard about the little 3-year-old that shot himself. How you get the gun?
3-year-old shot himself?
Yeah, by accident. That was a couple of weeks ago. That was in the
I
news.
thought you were talking about the 3 kids that were missing.
No, so that's what I'm saying. That was another thing. So it's so much, and so we get, like I said, so much comes our way. So we don't we do involve ourselves once we know, but a lot of information is just brought to the NAACP asking, what can you all do to help us? What can you do? And like I said, one of the great things about the NAACP is the name itself can get you in a lot of doors that you might not be able to get in on your own.
Understood.
That right there is good.
So what strategies do you think are the most effective in mobilizing people to take action?
Is to get in touch with us. Come on and get in there. We just explained how we're involved. We're involved in what we're doing in our community. If you want to grow and just know that you're a part of what you're doing. I mean, when I got here, I was just so pleased to find out that I could be a part of helping out in this community, in my chapter, in my way, because you have a voice. You have a voice, and you got to let it be known. We got to stop saying, "Oh, they're not listening to us, they're not hearing us," and all of that. It's not true. We hear it. The powers that be are hearing it, but we need more and more. You know, so
And I tell people it's complicated, you know. One of the things I learned this last election cycle with knocking on doors and stuff and talking to people, people want to talk. People want to talk. And people want you to know that they have an opinion, and they want you to know that they feel like they're being overlooked or whatever. So I will say one of the big things, like I said, that we do a lot of is the community engagement and outreach. And for us, we've had a lot of great events. Now, we've had decent turnout, but I always think it could be much better, much better, much better than what we get. And to me, sometimes the people that need to be there are just not present. You know, the people that need to be there are not present. Yeah.
Because all of us have a gift. All of us have something to say, a speaking on something. Everyone has something that they want to get involved with, or they want to see something different about. Just don't leave it and say, "Oh," like I said, and I say that because a lot of people that I talk to always saying that they're not being heard. But you got to be there to be heard. You know, you can't just be in the back talking to your friend. Be there to be heard.
Yes.
And see what happens.
Yes, and see what happens, because they, you know, people will acknowledge you. They do see you and they do hear you. But if you don't open your mouth, what they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. That is so.
Like in my situation, I had dealt, and I was just telling you about that with Virginia Power for $20,000 they had on my bill. I dealt with that for 2 years trying to get help. And then finally, when I went to the senator, because in NAACP, I got it down. You know, they directed my path on that. And when I did that, it came out and seemed that my home needed some work, $50,000 worth of work for free. For free. Okay. So it's a voice. Be there. If you need something, don't be afraid to, you know, just say it. Say it. You got to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And people, well, I will say sometimes people just don't know who to call, what to call, and they're exhausted and they're tired. They are exhausted and they are tired. And I know, but she was, because she was calling everywhere. And I kept saying, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And then I was like, no, we just need to go straight to the state delegate and senator and see what they say. And when I tell you they got right on it, they got right on it.
They got right on it. Yes.
So you mentioned briefly about your work, you know, knocking on doors for, you know, this last presidential election that has come and gone. And we know that there is going to be a changing of the guard soon. So how is the NAACP? I gotta deprogram myself on that. How is the NAACP working to prepare people for what's to come? I guess the unknown, you know, that's gonna come with this changing of the guard.
Well, one of the things, well, they did very well during this campaign season. They warned us about Project 2025.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we get emails all the time from the state, that's coming from national about what they're planning, what they're seeing, as far as I know one I saw recently was about the dismantling of the Department of Education and what
Yeah.
that might look like in different places. What that might look like is that several schools may be shut down, because if they dismantle that department, then funding will also go. So these are some things that they have to think about. The teachers are already complaining about overcrowded classrooms. Well, it could get worse. It definitely could get worse. That's just one of the things I remember reading about. But we are getting we're getting information on a regular about what's going on, and like who he's putting over certain departments in the government, and how we will try to counteract and different laws that they are already looking up to see if they can kind of cut them off at the pass, before it get there. So there are some things that are going on in the background that are being worked on, but we will see. We will see. Well, I still tell people we still have to fight. We still have to fight back. And one of the things that I know the young people were talking about, they were tired of marching. I know they had Black Friday, they had a boycott of Walmart because Walmart just ended its diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, a lot of companies did.
Right, a lot of companies did, and so they had a list of them with who not to shop with. But Walmart was one of the biggest ones because they said they are ending their diversity, equity, and inclusion program, and not just a couple, it's a lot of them. They had a whole list of them.
And that happened like what, 2 days after the election?
That's right, real quick.
2 days after the election.
Real quick.
No more diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Correct.
In all of these companies.
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you didn't realize, it's already happened at the colleges. It had already started at the colleges when the Supreme Court had that ruling. So Harvard, all of your schools, they all that diversity, equity, inclusion, they
But they didn't end their legacy programs.
Correct, they did not.
Oh wow, ain't that something? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of got me wishing I would have led off with Project 2025, because now we're running out of time. And
yes,
I feel like you have a lot more you could talk to us about.
Oh wow. Yes, well, I'm gonna tell you where I went. That was a 900-page document, and it was a lot of heavy stuff in there. And I don't know what people are thinking. It's like some people are still thinking, well, he's not gonna be able to do that. He's not. I'm like,
They don't know.
It's just amazing to me. Like I mean, I don't even have all the words for it, because
I got some words. Would
yes.
you be willing to do a part 2?
Yes, we can. Yes. Wow. Part of Project 2025, because we actually did. How many forums did we do on that? We did about 3. Yeah. We did about 3 forums. We did it in Hampton. We did it in Newport News. A couple in Newport. I mean, we were putting the information out there. News, yeah.
Okay,
we put it out.
So I mean, like I said, I really wish I would have led off with that, because I think that is definitely a pressing matter that we all need to be informed about. And I'm not going to say be worried about, but we need to be in the know. And I would like to follow up with you, and let's just talk Project 2025 and what we need to know, and what we need to, how we need to prepare.
Right, right,
yes.
Okay.
Right. We need to be concerned. We do need to be concerned. I'm not going to say worry, but you should have a concern.
Yeah.
Okay. You should have a concern and try to come up with a plan, because you see, it was said Project 2025, but this plan had been done how many years back? They've been planning.
21.
Been
Yeah.
planning that for the
Yeah.
last 8 years.
Yes, they've been these things have been in the work. The makeup of the Supreme Court right now wasn't intentional, it was methodically planned. They always had this in the plan. They have been working on this for years.
Since the last presidency, since the last.
No, they have been working on this since 1974 when Roe versus Wade first was passed. They have been having a 5-year, 10-year plan, but one of the plans that they had was to put judges to make sure that they either elected or appointed judges to the courts that was of the same mindset. That's why a lot of these cases have been able to go forward up to the Supreme and get to the Supreme Court, because who you have at those state Supreme Courts, at those circuit courts and stuff that are allowing these things to go and move forward.
Wow.
Yeah, so we really have to know these were things that they have been planning for years, and they have been working their plan. They have been working their plan. And so I tell people, we don't understand the assignment. And I'm not saying Democrats, I'm saying if you don't believe in that other platform of the person that they just elected, that you need to understand the assignment. Because they certainly did, because all of their people came home, right? The independents that said they didn't know who they were voting on, the white women who was like iffy, I don't know if I'm, what's her name? The lady from South Carolina, Nikki Haley, her voters, they thought they would swing Harris' way. They went the other way. The Latinos and even African Americans tried to say they did their part. We did not do our part. He had double digits of Black votes. He had 15% of the Black vote. That is unheard of. That is unheard of. Unheard of. I mean, I'm just saying, Joe Biden had the similar platform and he got 94% of the Black vote. She got 85%. What is the problem? What is the problem? So it's a lot to parse through of this, but you gotta look. He beat 2 women, right? One white woman, one Black woman. Black men didn't even want Kamala. Okay.
It's ridiculous because it's time for a change.
Yes.
And the thing that I said on my blog was, men, come on now. Women been around you, your mother, wife, daughter, everybody, and you depend on them. Come on, let's get real. We depend on them. And it's time. It's time for a change. You've been doing the same thing all the time. I ain't saying that it hasn't been good, it hasn't been bad, none of that. But we do need a change. Black, white, yellow, green, I don't care what it is. Just put the woman in there. Put her in there and see what happens.
I don't know. I don't know everything that happened if you put a woman in office. But one thing I do know would happen is we won't lose no money. I know that much.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So okay, so I mean I definitely hate to do this, but we are out of time. But what I will say to our listeners, I will say that you have to come back for part 2. All right.
Yeah.
So Miss Valerie and Miss Tyra have agreed. We're going to start working the details, and we're going to come back before this change of the guard, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this project 2025.
Yes.
And the ins, the outs, the what you need to know, and the how you need to prepare. That's what the hub is all about. We are here to bring the information to the community. Once we bring it to you, you can do whatever you need to do with it. But that's our goal. We want to get the information out there. So at this time, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to read some announcements, and then I'll turn the floor over to our wonderful guests, and I'll give them the opportunity to tell you all how to reach out to them, where you can connect with them, follow their pages, their blogs, things of that nature, and most importantly, how you can join the NAACP and help fight the good fight.
Yeah.
So at this time, um, I want to encourage you all to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. for Jumpstart and Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. as we continue to pray without ceasing.
Mm.
We invite you to join us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for our midweek impartation at 2510 Build America Drive in Hampton, Virginia. House of God Worship Center family, we've made it easier for you to stay connected to us via text message. Text the word empowered to 757-500-0940 to connect with Bishop's Corner, and there you will receive weekly updates. Text the word jumpstart to connect with our Jumpstart team, and you'll be able to send us your prayer requests, you'll get reminders, and you'll be able to share our Jumpstart prayer with your family and friends. House of God Worship Center, we are having our annual coat drive giveaway on Saturday, December the 14th between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. Just like last year and the years before, we have partnered with Wavy TV 10. We are going to be one of the distribution centers for their annual coat drive giveaway. Again, that's December the 14th, and that'll be 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 2510 Build America Drive. You have to be present to get a coat. You cannot come in and get coats for other people. Everyone that needs a coat has to come in and claim their own coat. We are inviting you to a very HOGWC Christmas on December 21st at 5 p.m. at 1905 Coliseum Drive, Hampton, Virginia 23666. We invite you to enjoy an evening of music, awards, food, games, and so much more. Please note that this is a semi-formal event and semi-formal attire is requested. Tickets are available for purchase for this event. Ages 0 to 10 are free. Ages 11 to 15, those tickets are $50. Ages 16 and up, those tickets are $125. To RSVP, please contact any member of House of God Worship Center, or you can reach out to us through our Facebook page via direct messenger. We would love for you to attend. Just reach out and someone will get back to you. The last day to register for this event, sadly, is December the 8th. So we have been planning this for a while. We're coming up on the last of our RSVPs for this event. And lastly, join our funds for the holiday. We are doing a 50-50 rally from November 21st through December the 21st. This event aims to boost our ministry revenue and continue our community outreach endeavors. The winner of this event, so the goal is we're selling raffle tickets, and whatever our total raffle pot is on the last date to purchase a ticket, which is December 21st. If we raise $5,000, the winner is going to get $2,500. We're going to pull the name. The winner's going to get $2,500. The ministry keeps the other half. That's how the 50-50 raffle works. Those are all of our announcements. At this time, I would like to yield the floor to Ms. Tyra and Ms. Valerie. And I would like for you to share with us how to connect with you via social media. Tell us where we can follow you. And if anyone wants to join the NAACP, how they need to go about doing that. The floor is yours.
All right. I am again Tyra Chisholm, Coach Tyra Chisholm, and I am the members person for the NAACP. I'm gonna get it, yeah. All right. And this is one of the applications, but please give me a call, or you can text me, email me. My number is 757-209-1023. My website, my email is travel, TRAVEL, with WITH, Tyra, TYRA, 56@gmail.com. So please, if you're interested, please give me a call. We can meet. I could enroll you right over the phone. We could talk about it and just get you in. I am also a spiritual life coach. Come and join me on www.angelsr, just the letter R, us.org. I do get you to get involved with your guardian angel. That's right. I'll let you know who that is. So please give me a call for either one. Love you. Thank you.
And you can reach me, Valerie Beverly. You can reach me at my office here in Newport News at 12695 McManus Boulevard, Suite 1D in Newport News. And you can call at 757-896-2822. You can reach me on Facebook under my name, Valerie Beverly. You can reach me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok also. You can inbox me if you would like, and I can get back with you if you want to discuss anything pertaining to insurance or anything pertaining to the NAACP. We would love for you to contact us. You can also go to the NAACP website online. You can find a website, and you'll see some things that the Newport News chapter has done. Also with me,
Facebook.
Yes, the Facebook, and we have a my website is www.divineinsurance.info. Okay, I can't hardly remember it. And that's something, as I don't even say it that much. But anyway, yes, but you can use any of those avenues to connect or whatever. But we just want you to know that we are available. Yeah. We are here, and we would love for you to join the NAACP.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful Christmas.
Yes. Merry
Valerie
Christmas.
and Tyra, I thank you both so much for coming and sharing this time with me. I thank you for your wisdom, your insight, and I'm looking forward to having more conversations with you. I'm looking forward to learning more about the NAACP and how I could be involved.
Yes.
I want to say thank you to our sponsors, House of God Worship Center, our leaders, Bishop Gary Rogers, Pastor Lisa Rogers, for just giving us this platform and not being afraid to let us, get up here and have these types of conversations and get the information out to the people that need to hear it. I thank you to our guests and to our viewers. I invite everyone, if you don't have a church home, come to House of God Worship Center, 2510 Build America Drive, Hampton, Virginia. We would love to have you. And last but not least, I invite everyone to join us right here next month on the first Friday as we will embark on another great topic on the Hub. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Amen.
Amen.
Good night.
Good night.